There's 3 pages of scenarios right now. Okay?
Insane.
3 pages of scenarios, and we wrote them down just so we didn't get them wrong because there's a lot of can clinch 1, can clinch 7. If this team wins, this team loses, this team does this. It seems like there's more teams alive right now than we could have ever imagined. Doesn't matter. Do we already know who the Super Bowl winners are going to be? Do we already know who's going to be in the Super Bowl? All this bottom of the bubble that everybody's jousting for right now doesn't really matter in your eyes.
Always matters. Always matters, man. It's a new season once you get into the playoffs. We've seen how crazy this year has been. We'll have my guy Justin Herbert in the playoffs for the first time. Nobody wants to see that guy. So, it always matters, man. Jostling for seeding. And then for the teams, it only matters what you can control, what you can do as a player, what you can do as a coach. So you had 3 pages right there. A lot of people gave Ron Rivera shit for not knowing he could be eliminated after the game.
Wow.
Sometimes he should know.
He definitely should know. Maybe he was joking there, but a lot is going on, but players just got to handle their business. I'm very interested to see how the Eagles handle Jalen Hurts this week.
Because 1 seed's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Huge deal.
Him, Lane.
Especially because of and you talk about Lane being injured, but you think Jason Kelsey wouldn't mind a week off?
Yeah. Probably would like that.
You know what I mean? Like, you think a lot of those guys that have played very physical football, you got some OGs on the defensive side of the ball, too.
D-line.
You don't think they'd want a week off to kind of freshen up in this whole thing? But to do that, are you putting Jalen in extra risk where you could give him another week to kind of settle in? Obviously, Gardner Minshew has had success in the NFL. They're a much different team when Jalen's playing versus when Gardner's playing because Jalen has solidified himself as a guy completely. That's a great question. I think you play Jalen.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
What's that?
I'm with you.
I thought you were going to say how much, too, because that's a whole thing.
When
do you
pull the plug?
Yeah, because you don't want to risk any more because you want that extra week that you're about to get for Jalen as well. It's like, hey, the next week we get a bye week. That's great for Jalen's shoulder as well. That'll be a fine balance by Sirianni, who's known to be a dog. How do you put kind of restraints on him like you're up there in Alaska running the
Iditarod.
The Iditarod. How is he going to be able to handle that? That is because this is a big game for them.
Huge.
Yeah. 1 seed versus wild card is a vastly different world in the playoffs.
Yeah, you get to play in Philadelphia for the entire time. How tough that is for other teams, and how much you think it depends on the Giants too. Because if the Giants rest their starters, because they can't move up to 5, they can't fall down to 7, so they're actually just kind of stuck where they are at 6. Like if they play maybe half their starters, if they don't play Dan Jones, do you think Sirianni's maybe even waiting to see that kind of almost a game time decision? Because if he knows they're not playing those guys, then you would assume he'd be comfortable with Minshew going out there and getting it done.
Here's the NFC situations. Philadelphia Eagles can clinch the NFC East and the number 1 seed with a win over the Giants.
Okay.
Just beat the Giants.
Simple.
Giants got nothing to play for.
No. Nothing.
But Big Mo's a real thing.
Yeah.
You just beat the Colts 38-10.
Yeah. Ride the hot hand.
Do you want to continue to do that going into playoffs? Probably. Are they going to rest people? Do we know if they're resting people?
We don't know yet, but it's kind of like the Jags played everyone against the Texans last week when they didn't have to and just fucking took care of business.
Boat race them because they need to win against the Titans this weekend.
Yeah.
That is a big game. I'm a firm. What's that?
Same situation. New coach. Obviously you got Trevor Lawrence in his second year, but you got Dougie P. That's the first time they're together. So this the time you want to kind of be hot.
I think so too.
You want to be playing your best ball.
I'm a big fan of Let's Go.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why I'm a big fan of Let's Go is because my rookie year, we rattle off 14 straight wins.
Ooh, yeah.
Number 1 seed in the AFC locked up by the time fucking week 15 ended or week 14 ended or whatever.
Wow.
So then Bill Polian made the decision to rest the players week 15, week 16. I believe everybody started week 15 against the Jets, and then everybody got pulled, and it was a preseason game. A lot of punts. We lose to the Jets. We let the Jets in, actually, because we lose. Then week 17, game 16, we're in Buffalo. Peyton, everybody starts. There's obviously 100 catch records that are on the line. They're drawing up plays in the actual snow. We'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. Then everybody gets pulled. We lose again. We go 14-2. Now, we win that next game after we take the bye, and we win in the championship round, and we get to the Super Bowl and we lose. But I remember every single player in that locker room, and I was too young to have an opinion, way too young, and I'm a punter, so shut up. But, everybody in there was pissed about it. They're like, there's only been 1 team that's gone undefeated throughout the entire thing. we could potentially be that team. And also, we haven't played our best football yet. Like, there is still time to grow. I understand the risk factor of people getting hurt. That could happen in practice.
Yeah.
That could happen in practice. People could get hurt. So they're running full speed practices during the week because we got to keep our cardio and conditioning up. But then we're going to rest you for the game. It's like full speed practice still could potentially be an injury if we're going to live like that. I'm a big fan of let's keep going. Let's keep building, but I'm also not in a position where I could potentially get hurt every single fucking play. So it's a tough thing. But that game is determining whether or not the Eagles are going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC, or are they going to be a wild card, which would be a huge shot, I think, across the bow to the Eagles, especially with how this season has gone. We believe that a massive part of this game is hinging upon Jalen Hurts playing, Jalen Hurts not playing. What is the mindset in Philadelphia? Jalen's playing. How long is he playing? And has Sirianni really chatted with anybody about how he plans on handling this game against the Giants?
So I would agree with you. It's a big game that probably does, well, not probably, it does affect literally everything. It sounds like Jalen Hurts is in a really good place physically, so if he was needed to play, which I think he will be, then I was told he is expected to go. I would expect him to practice today, move forward from there. He was really close last week. If you had guaranteed me that he wouldn't land on his sprained SC joint, if he could just function, I would say he definitely would have played last week. But they wanted to make sure he didn't land on it and aggravate it, so he did not play. However, I would also say this. We don't know what the Giants are going to do. The Giants don't have anything to play for. When Buffalo, which is where Brian Daboll and Joe Shane came from, when they were in a similar situation a couple years ago with not much to play for, they had starters come out and play a couple series and then exit, and then the backups came in. So this game may hinge more on that than anything else, which is simply like, how many guys do the Giants actually play?
Yeah, this could be like in basketball when starters come out, we'll take our starters out. But if you're the Giants also, and Daboll's running things now as opposed to McDermott, and it feels like Daboll has a much different vibe on the sideline than McDermott does, there's a lot of "fuck yeah" from Daboll. Daboll literally looks like he's at my family cookout. Daboll literally looks like he is from our like my family. The way he acts, drives that F-150 that's beautiful, the dap up with the team, the excitement, the energy, and I think the Giants needed all of it. Wink Martindale, he also big, beloved by the players, swag, talk shit, not scared about it. I think that's a vastly different situation than what happened in Buffalo with these two running it. If I'm them, and I know I'm just a punter, and I know I'm bottom of the barrel, and I'm a doofus that wears a tank top on TV, as a person that's been able to see this situation firsthand from, like, in the team meeting room, on the sideline, and playing in the game, limited reps. But seeing, I would want to keep momentum.